Breaking a relationship is hard, and calling it off with a sponsor is even harder. But what happened that led Simone Biles to call off a relationship of 6 years with Nike? In this video, we're going to spill all the beans. Why did Simone Biles call it quits? Simone Biles, the most celebrated gymnast of our times, bid farewell to Nike in 2021 and signed a contract with Athleta, a women's clothing brand and a division of Gap, a clothing retailer, just 3 months before the Summer Olympics in Tokyo. The contract also included Athleta sponsoring a post-Olympic gymnast tour that was arranged by Biles. Biles explained the reason for ending the sponsorship with Nike in interviews. In an interview with the Wall Street Journal, she said that Athleta stood for everything that she personally stood for. To give you some background info, Nike has got a negative reputation over the years over how it treats its athletes and female employees. Women stood up against the toxic work environment at Nike's headquarters located in Beaverton. They also said that Nike penalizes athletes who become pregnant. On top of this already ruined reputation, a Nike coach was called out for verbally abusing the female runners. He was suspended later on. Biles isn't the first one to get out of a toxic relationship. Kobe Bryant's estate didn't renew their contract with Nike, so his widow, Vanessa Bryant, said she'll look for a new contract. Next, Biles blamed the USA Gymnastics in the past for not keeping girls and women safe, especially regarding the sexual predator Lawrence G. Nasser, a national team doctor notorious for his reputation of sexually abusing athletes. By partnering with Athleta, Biles got the financial leverage that USA Gymnasts failed to provide, and they also had no plan to organize a tour last year, which was their tradition, as confirmed by their spokesperson. As per the plan, Biles would collaborate with Athleta's design team to create an activewear line. Neither Athleta nor Biles shared the financial terms of this agreement. Mary Beth Lofton, Athleta's president, talked about the company's relationship with Biles and said that it's more than just a sponsorship. She said that they see it as a way to give Biles lifetime support, and they want to support her career in Tokyo Olympics and beyond that. Up next, Nike's relationship with Simone Biles. Simone and Nike signed a contract back in 2015, not long after she turned into a professional athlete and showed her class in world championships by winning the individual all-around title. She then represented Nike at the 2016 Olympics, where she won 5 medals, 4 of which were gold. The Tokyo Olympics 2022 were considered to be the best Olympics for Biles, but she recently said that there's a chance that she'd take part in the 2024 Summer Games in Paris. Nike doesn't harbor any hard feelings for Simone, and its spokesman, Josh Benedek, said that their contract had ended and they wish her the very best. Biles is not the first athlete to join Athleta after leaving Nike. Track sprinter Allyson Felix, who came forward with her story of Nike penalizing pregnant athletes financially, became a part of Athleta in 2019 after she ended her long sponsorship with Nike. Nike revised its policy not long after that. Recently, it came to public knowledge that Nike didn't renew the contracts of several athletes like Tiana Bartoletta, the long jumper, and Piotr Lisek, the pole vaulter, both of whom were expected to take part in the Olympics. That was a surprising move, as the Olympics is a marketing stage for Nike and its competitors Adidas and Puma. We all know that sports brands compete to sponsor any athlete who's most likely to win medals. Nike is still in a good spot even after Biles and Felix left because it's represented hundreds of athletes at the Olympics, along with the U.S. Soccer Federation and the USA Track and Field. The Olympics is an important event for brands to market themselves because it's an opportunity for them to create a story that sells. And the story becomes easier to sell once their product is worn by athletes who win gold. Now, Simone's plans with Athleta. Athleta only sponsors Felix and Biles as of now. The company sells activewear instead of sports clothing and values inclusivity, women empowerment, and sustainability. Athleta isn't the only company to swoon athletes to their side. It joined the rank of USELES, a sports apparel company that sponsors a long-distance runner, Kara Goucher, who was previously sponsored by Nike. Athleta's president said that they admire Simone's and Allyson's courage and all of the young women and athletes who spoke up and raised their voices against injustice. If we say that Biles struck 2 birds with 1 stone, we won't be wrong. She indirectly stood against Nike, and by organizing a tour with them, she's shooting a direct missile toward the USA Gymnastics after she criticized them and the United States Olympic Committee for avoiding responsibility after Nasser was exposed. After criticizing them with words, she hit them where it hurt them most through her Gold Over America tour. Post-Olympic tours are the tradition of the USA Gymnastics and bring quite a revenue for them. In 2016, USA Gymnastics generated $12.9 million in revenue. In 2017, $4.1 million and $2.1 million in 2018. After that, they declared bankruptcy when when more than 100 of Nasser's survivors sued them. USA Gymnastics had no plan for a tour in 2021, but their spokesperson said that they were thrilled that the fans would reconnect with sports and their favorite athletes through the Gold Over America tour. Simone Biles' partnership with a cybersecurity company. By now, you all must have known that Simone Biles doesn't accept sponsorship if the sponsors don't stand for the values she believes in. On June 9th, Simone Biles posted on her Instagram about her partnership with a cybersecurity company called Axonius. Simone captioned the post with a really important message that life isn't about avoiding inevitable complexity. It's about learning to control what you can. Axonius partnered with two athletes, one being Simone and the other, Amy Bream, an adaptive athlete. The company believes that these two athletes have the ability to juggle their way out of hardships and that they're the human embodiment of how to control complexity, as they both went through hardships but didn't let that affect them. Biles and Bream promoted the company campaign, Controlling Complexity, which focuses on cybersecurity's human factor. The athletes were also at the RSA conference for the same purpose. Biles took her mother, Nellie Biles, to the event as her +1. How sweet of her. Why did Simone break up with her WWE boyfriend? Before dating her now NFL fiancé, Jonathan Owens, Simone was in a relationship with athlete Stacey Irvin Jr. for 3 years. They started dating in 2017 and called it quits in 2020. Ending that relationship wasn't easy for Simone. While talking to Vogue, Simone said that it's hard being young and having that long of a relationship and then ending it, but she believed that it was for the best. Turns out that Simone was indeed right, as in August 2020, she announced her relationship with Jonathan Owens. The two can be seen supporting each other in their Instagram posts and interviews. In 2020, after dating each other for 2 years and numerous talks about how they complete each other, they announced their engagement in February. Since Simone Biles is on a break after the Tokyo 2022 Olympics, the two of them can be seen vacationing together. Biles announced on her Instagram that they had already decided on a venue and a date for their wedding. We would love to see our favorite athlete getting married, but did you know that Owens didn't know that Simone was a star when they first met? Don't you watch the news or something? Next, Simone had to face a tough time while training. We knew that the K-pop stars aren't the only ones that found ways to smuggle food on a diet. Simone Biles attended many camps when she was young. She doesn't remember one camp in good words because of its inhumane training routine. At the age of 12, Biles started training at the Karolyi Ranch in Texas, whose owners were Martha and Bella Karolyi. Biles, along with her teammates, were frequently shamed for their weight and size there. They were also given little portions of food. Looking back, Biles said the portions were so small that she and her fellow gymnasts used to break into the cafeteria to steal food. Simone also said that the training there wasn't right. Karolyi Ranch is now terminated by USA Gymnastics because turns out cruel routines weren't their only crime. Simone also had a tough time while growing up, and the brutal training at the camp wasn't the only time she had to worry about food. Growing up, her family couldn't afford milk, and they used to eat cereal with water, and they were always hungry. Their life became better when Simone and her siblings were sent to foster care and then got adopted. And that's a wrap for this video. So what do you think about Simone Biles ending ties with Nike? Did she do the right thing? Do let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and click the subscribe button for more videos like this. See you at the next one.